Hey, I didn't mean to push that button, but here we are. We're ready. I didn't know I was ready. Let's go ahead and push play on the background music. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sorry for all the delays. I thought I was just like previewing, but then we switched right to it. Sorry for all the delays. I had a plumber coming today because the garbage disposal was not working. And it was causing the sink to not drain. And they told me, like, oh, they're coming 20 minutes before 11. So then I delayed the stream to 11:30. I thought that would give me plenty of time. But then, of course, the doorbell rings at 11:29. And that's just how we roll. Thank you all for being here today. If you don't know, we do this every single month. We do track feedback. So if you are interested in getting feedback on your music today, here's how this works. You become a member of the channel, which is an amazing way to support the channel and get something in return for yourself. Not only can you join at any tier and get feedback on your music, but you'll be able to be a part of our Discord server, as well as get some free samples. There's some free samples available at every tier, even the $2 tier. You can check out the YouTube community tab if you haven't checked that out yet on the channel. And for VIP members, that's where all the good stuff is. That's where the members only workshops are. That's where the full sample pack is, etc. Hello to everybody. Please vote in that poll. I'm going to end it in like 1 minute. If this is your first time submitting today, or if you've submitted many times, or if you want to answer the troll answer like some of you have. I know there's always confusion about how to get involved, how to do this. Other content creators do it differently. It's not a free-for-all where people just drop links in the chat or anything. There's clear directions on screen, as you can see right there. And there's also a pinned message at the top of chat. And there's also more info in the description. Of course, this is the most opportune month right now to get feedback on your music because I will be going away. I'll be going to Korea for 1 month, and I'll be not able to really stream the normal streams. So, if you want feedback on your music, this will be the last feedback stream until October. And in Beettober, we're going to more than make up for it because we're going to be streaming every Saturday. And anybody who's participating in Beettober can get their music reviewed. That bass in the background looks well used. Yes, for sure. Hi, Viral Beats. Hello to everybody in chat. Thank you for being here. Alt Z, Viral Beats, Nathan Simpson, Ayush, Pete, Saksham. Thank you for being here. Faded, Wizlow, Andre Von Zark, Ayush. My mom and dad are in the chat. I see. Our Clay Beats, Sleepy Montana, Sub-Zero. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to skip people on accident, so I'm just going to stop there. But thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll have more opportunities to shout you out later. Of course. Chinchilla, MN. Chinchilla, Minnesota? Great town. You guys want to see what was inside of the garbage disposal? First, there was like 3 categories of things. And this was broken before I moved here, so it's not me. But there's this. It's like plastic, some type of plastic in there. And there are a bunch of these little things. I don't even know if this will... Oh, it's gone. It's like metal from the Brillo pads. Just all those little metal springs. And then the crown jewel. I have no idea what this is. Some type of just metal. Just in the garbage disposal. So that's what we were doing moments before I hit go live. But it works now. Guy was great. He was just in there fishing stuff out with tongs. Flip it on, flip it off. But now I literally could have done that. I didn't know. That's why it wasn't working. It didn't make a sound like something was stuck in it. It just wasn't working. But now I know how to fix my own garbage disposal, I think. Or at least I'll try. Anyway, I see a lot of submissions in the Discord already, so if you want to get in, now is the time, because I do end up capping it. I don't like to go more than 3 hours because it gets really hard for me to keep my mental energy and not have my ears fatigued by the end of this. Looks like it belonged to the lid of a can. You might be right. The investigation continues. There's like a name brand on here or something. Oh, you're right. I think it might be like some kind of like wet food can, like a tuna can or something. All right. Anyway, let's not turn this into an investigation of what's in my drain. Thank you, Almight. Thank you. Let me first tap in here and show you all some cool stats that I pulled from last year's Beettober really quick. So last year, if y'all don't know what Beettober is, it's a month-long beat making challenge for music producers. In the month of October, you're challenged to make a beat video every single day in the month of October. There's lots of fun events happening here on this channel for Beettober. Challenges, maybe competitions. There will be prizes involved. And all kinds of different fun things. You guys can maybe share what was your most fun memory of Beettober last year if you participated. But last year we raised $6,000 for the Music and Youth Initiative, a really amazing nonprofit that sets up music programs in after-school programs. And this year the goal is $10,000, and I'm really excited for that. I think that we can hit it as a community together. And the breakdown, I was looking at info from last year. And here's kind of the breakdown of where all that 6,000 came from. So the biggest majority came from YouTube donations, meaning that every time we did a stream, all my most popular videos, I set to have that donate button below, and you can donate directly on a video. So a large portion came from those donations. There were occasions where I matched donations during streams. Like if people donated during a stream, I would match that donation. And then some sales. So sample pack sales. We'll drop a sample pack at the beginning of October, and all the proceeds will go to the Music and Youth Initiative. One-on-one lesson sales. I sold 5 of those last year. PayPal donations. People could just directly donate through PayPal if they couldn't donate through YouTube. We did a custom MPK auction. We did merch sales. And then all of my membership revenue for the month of October will also this year go to Music and Youth Initiative. And we have more members than we did last year, so obviously that number will increase. But do y'all think we can hit 10,000? Do y'all think we can hit the 10,000? I'm going to need your help. And community member, I think Eric Clark, maybe, I hope I'm not wrong about that, shared with me on Twitter a really cool mechanism so that everybody can do pledges. Meaning like a marathon, when your family members say can sponsor you every mile you run. I'm going to pay you $5 for every mile you run. I want to set up a site where it's like, oh, I can pay you $5 for every beat video you make. And that will all go to the pot. You could all have your own pages where people can donate, etc. So I think that's one new initiative, but I literally just reached out to the company that runs that site just to make sure that it's like the proper mechanism for that. Arclay Beats, are you doing merch again this year? Yes, definitely doing merch again this year. There will be a limited custom collectible as well. Wizlo says, I won the custom skinned MPK last year. Yes. That's amazing. CSI TAETRO's terrain. I just saw that. Yes. Spoke Fast says the setup looks really nice. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I worked really hard on getting this all set up and looking nice, just in time for me to flee the country. A lot of October birthdays, myself included. Oh, is your birthday in October? Let me know in the chat. Nathan says Korea has some of the fastest and cheapest internet in the world. I've heard that. So we may still be able to do a members workshop while I'm in Korea. I'm ending the poll. 46% of people said this is their first time submitting. 45%, sorry. Destructo says, I don't believe hitting 10K will be a problem. 10K is doable, says Eddie T. I love all of your confidence. I love all your confidence. I really, 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 really hope that you all are right. And I will definitely need all of you all's help. By participating, it helps get the word out, but also trying to leverage everybody's community to maybe get some more donations in would be awesome. Yeah, I'll keep you all members posted. Just bear with me in the next month. I'm really trying to take a month and creatively like rejuvenate and spend some good time away, but I don't want to just abandon members. But I want to also remind everybody that we're going to come and hit things hard in October. So even if things are a little slower for members in the month of like September, please bear with me because we're going to hit things hard in October for sure. I think we could do more than 10K, says Arclay Beats. Well, if y'all got connections to some deep pockets, some business owners, some folks who love philanthropy or something like that, keep them in the back of your mind. And once all the Beettober mechanisms are up, I will make sure I shout them from the rooftops. What are you drinking today, folks? I have coffee. I went to a concert at SoFi Stadium, and they had cocktails in these plastic mason jars. So I took it home. I won a beatbox last year, and that was my favorite. LOL. Nice. Yes, beatbox. That's great. I'm in the process in the next week of reaching out to all the brands. I just had a really good call with one brand. There's a couple folks who want to be involved, some new, some that helped out last year, but I want to put together all the info for last year's Beettober, and kind of make a very compelling deck for folks. Yes. So that's the deal with Beettober. I do see people jumping in, acting clueless. How do I submit? It's on the screen, and I hate to do this early, but I have to. Hold on, let me just switch something real quick. This is really important. Where's my mouse? Where is my mouse? Let's go ahead and turn this on. There we go. Sorry to do that so early, but you know, that's how it goes. And thank you all for the support on the recent videos. I know a lot of people liked the video making video that came out last week. So thank you for that. And we'll have a new chapter of the Ableton Live for Beginners series tomorrow. And there's going to be videos coming out on the regular schedule, I'm pretty sure, while I'm in Korea. So content from Korea might be slightly delayed. Just keep that in mind. It's not going to come out in real time because I'm not going to stress about editing and putting things out. But I am going to prep videos for at least the next few weeks so that while I'm away, you're all still getting what you need, including a new track that's coming out, which Nightbot will post about in a bit. Wislow's drinking chai. H3O is drinking English Pale Ale. SE Cold Brew. EAA. What is EAA, Sledgeman? Where's the Discord link? I'm bum. I can't see the submissions options. The letters are too small on my little phone. Sorry. If you hit join, which I don't even think is available on mobile, you can join the channel, and that gets you access to the Discord. Once you do become a member, you can type !new member, which will give you all the information you need to join. Essential amino acids. That sounds like some crystals stuff. Like you got crystals in your window. Oh, Nightbot even knows about Beettober. Interesting. Cherry Cola. Love it. I'm currently learning ways on how to get placements for movies and TV shows for my music. Nice, Altsy. Nice. I'm drinking Vita 500. Pita. Oh, Pita. All right. Anyway, we have a lot of music to listen to. Some people have submitted since we went live, I think. So let me pause the background music. I am pulling from the track review submissions Discord channel in our server. Hello, good morning, Justine de las Verdes. Happy Soul Beats. Hello. Welcome. I need supplements when working out hard. Good to know. All right, we got Journey to Jupiter up first. We're going to get right into the music here. As usual, folks, if you do find a track that you enjoy or an artist that you believe in, please go to their pages, show them some love, give them a follow, support each other where possible. Positive vibes only in the chat. Constructive criticism. If you come in and the first thing I see from you is something negative about somebody's track, you're probably just going to get timed out. So keep things positive. And let's listen to White's Journey to Jupiter. I'm going to run another poll while we listen to this. Let me know on sound levels how everything is. From the Philippines. Nice. Welcome. What's up, airplane room? Zelda vibes. I do like the higher and the lower octave blending. I think mixing wise, there's instances where these melodies are popping out a bit too much. Somebody let Happy Soul Beats know what Beettober is in the chat, please. Or Barjas, thank you for joining. Welcome to the community, my friend. All right, that's our first submission of the day. A lot of people complimenting the bass, that's for sure. I'm listening on headphones, so who can say? Very much that somebody said it, late night gaming type beat. That's what Happy Soul Beats said. I completely agree. I think that is... the sound selection is perfect for that. So good job honing this sound selection and not having anything that sounds too out of place. The only thing that will make things sound a little bit out of place in this track, I would say, is the mixing. So there's a couple things that jump out to me right away, and that is that snare sound. 1, 2, boom. That is just a bit loud for me, and it's also just very like on a focused frequency there. So it's coming through a little harsh in my ears. I don't know if that's true for everybody. It might just be a volume thing. And then mix-wise, in this moment, other than that snare poking out a bit too much, everything's sounding pretty good. But then when we start to introduce the higher octaves, it kind of just gets added on top. It doesn't really get mixed in. It's like an additional layer of loudness. So be careful, because that higher octave will naturally poke out on its own. You don't actually need to emphasize it with volume too much. Okay, so that's enough, especially by that point where it goes even higher, it's even louder. And then finally I'll say, whereas it is a very good sound selection, kind of very soothing track, it almost doesn't... there's not enough of variation, so I think what it needs is a few more bells and whistles. I think the musical ideas are there, but There's no real transition sounds. There's no really even transition throughout the track. It goes from just playing the melody in lower octave to playing the melody in higher octave, and it keeps on with the same beat. So maybe like study some SP404 players or something, because the performance effects of a general SP404 performance are something that can boost a track like this and make it a little more interesting. It's got all the core elements, but it needs to be taken to the next level. Last thing for real. Some of these melodies are nice, but it's a little bit of just like da 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 going through the scale. Be very deliberate about your melodies and give us something to latch on to. There doesn't need to be too much repetition in your melodies, but give us a theme that repeats only in certain sections. That will also help your arrangement and give certain sections certain distinction, because right now it's just like da 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 right through. But where it does get interesting, da 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 dun, where you start actually playing phrases, that's a lot better melodically. White, thank you for this submission. I appreciate you. And we also had Samuel Espinel. Thank you for renewing your VIP membership. You've been a member for a while, I can tell from the badge next to your name. Awesome. Thanks, White. We're going to keep things rolling. But the problem that I run into is I tend to go a bit long at the beginning, and then it doesn't work out at the end. So let's try to keep a good pace. I want to provide enough value to everybody, so I want to just keep things moving. Next up, STK. By the way, thank you for the well wishes, White, in your message on Discord. Jiminator J, I'm so glad you submitted. Some really like folky vibes. I know STK is kind of going in a different direction. Kind of these really nice organic sounds. Everything sounds like it was recorded in like a cabin or something. That was the opposite. I wanted to do. There we go. Oh, sorry. Let me give you more volume. Nice reverses. Cool little granular stuff happening in the background. Cool. I noticed that it's in a demo/unreleased folder SDK, so I'm not going to like critique the mix too much. I think there's certain things like that crackle noise is like very mono, where everything else is a big stereo image, so it's a little confusing for my ear. And then the kick is not hitting as well as it could be, I don't think either. But I love all the sounds. I love the sound collection. It's a very good example of like a very clear execution of an idea. I think it's a folk song, pretty much. Like an alt folk song. And this is the first time STK, I think, that I'm like, this song needs a vocalist. I think I could imagine like a Hozier type vocal, or a Bon Iver. I think it's probably a more obvious example. top line on this, because there's no real top line melody in this. It's got the chords, it's got the rhythm section, it's got the interesting stuff happening in the background. You all hear that little incidental stuff happening? That's kind of what I mean that's part of what I mean when I talk about bells and whistles for a song. It's stuff beyond just the bass, the beat, and the chords. Like even here, there's like little sparkles of stuff, but they're not like playing a regular pattern, you know? So yes, I think you find a vocalist for this SDK if you want to take this somewhere. Forgive me, but Kim Chun, thank you so much for joining and becoming a member. Welcome. Kim Chun. Ujun, welcome to the community. Welcome. Yeah, SDK, nice. Find a vocalist for this. It's a folk song. I think it's interesting, and I love that you've been doing things other than just the lo-fi thing, even though you're so good at it. I think it's a good place for you to go. I love that you're sharing the unreleased stuff. You gonna come say hi, buddy? Come on. Well. This way. Yes, you were not behaving earlier, and that's why you got kicked out. You gonna behave now, or are you gonna type on my keyboard? Okay. Please don't knock over my drink. Thank you, STK. Appreciate that submission. Let's get back into it. Let's keep going. We had a nice visit from Goob. Oh, you guys should see. Let me see if this camera works. It does not. Let's go here. Right there. All right, back to it. Huey Lou is up next. Huey Lou, hey fam, just released this new song today with Snazzy. Hope you enjoy. This is a Spotify link. Let's get it. It's called Umbrella. I did, by the way, update the Lo-Fi Loft playlist recently. We're at 50 tracks. Maybe this track is gonna fit on the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. I'm liking it so far. Woo! That kick is hitting. Beautiful guitar. Ooh. I don't think this is Neo Soul Sub-Zero, no. Oh, a little sax? Cool. Obviously, a lot of great sounds in this. Very, very catchy. I think we got to put it on the Lo-Fi Loft playlist, right? Let's do that. Boom. Added. So I have no notes about like mixing or sound selection or anything. I think that is all great, of course. Where this is lacking for me though is in the arrangement. First of all, this track is only 1 minute 44 seconds. It definitely can be longer, and definitely more attention can be paid to the structure that would create a more satisfying experience for the listener. First off, it starts with this kind of filtered section, which is fine, but I think it goes on twice as long as it needs to. Your track is 1 minute and 44 seconds, and 20 of those seconds are spent on that fully filtered intro. And when the beat finally drops, it is satisfying, but how many people skipped and didn't even hear that drop? Because the first 10 seconds are just this. You're almost signaling to the audience that, oh, the whole track is like this. The filter never comes up. And then we have this beautiful wah guitar come in. We're back in filter land again. You know what I mean? So like, how much total time of this track is spent with an underwater filter? We didn't spend enough time in the heart of the track. We've spent more time in underwater filter world than we did in this awesome backbeat wah guitar, beautiful chill hop section, you know? And then later on, talk box, wah, yeah, whichever. I think it's probably wah because it's only making one sort of sound as opposed to multiple vowels. And then the end, you introduce the saxophone. Give me a section where the saxophone is going to town, just like the lead guitar was going to town earlier. So my big advice, there's so many amazing things happening in this track. If you hone the arrangement a little more, I think it could be even better. Like that little thing. More of that. Yes, more. We want to live in this world longer. Please extend the track. Look at more traditional pop arrangements, because those are super effective. They're trying to keep everybody listening, keep everybody excited through the whole thing, you know? That's what's good about pop arrangement and how it can apply for us as producers and beat makers. Nice, though. That's a clean sound from that. Well done. Dot Key is up next. Nobody's Like You. And I have to sneeze. North Club, welcome to the community. Barjas, follow the directions. Nope. Nightbot. I love this. This is a different sound for you, Dotkey. If you just became a member, please check that Nightbot message, new member. There's a link there that tells you all about how to link your YouTube and Discord. Ooh. Dotki, what are you using to make this? What changed? Nope, you don't need to type !point Discord. The directions are already there. In chat. I love these drums, yeah. Honestly, started with finding and playing a random synth. Man, that's dope. It's a very clear concept. And you know what's really great is when like visuals match up, like these kind of palms. That imagery I think is perfect for. That kind of imagery is perfect for this track. What's some of the lo-fi process here though? Because I'm hearing some great sound design as well. It's interesting because I have like similar feedback to the previous, right? Like once the beat finally drops here, we get semi-quiet, but I think it could have departed a little bit further, or at least introduced one new sound here. If you introduced one new sound and maybe built up a little more tension in this B section and then landed back on the main beat plus though, right? Because if I listen to this section, it's pretty much the same if I listen to this section. So what's the one leveled up version of this that we could have at the end? Whether it's one more melodic instrument or just like a single beautiful bell hit or something. Something to just level up here at the end. Not to take away from the mellow mood. But Bat Free Farmer says it would be nice if there was something melodic over the top now and then. I agree. But I do think that there is a place in lo-fi, this kind of music where it's like you don't want to call too much attention to itself. You don't want it to be too distracting almost, but there is definitely room for a melody here. But Thoughtky, great. If you properly distribute this, or if gets on Spotify, I'll definitely add it to the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. Love this sound from you. Would love to hear more. There's been some confusion about, I know Barjas and North Club, it seems like y'all are having trouble getting in the Discord. Maybe somebody in the community can help out. But that link with when we do !new member is what you're going to want to follow those directions to a T. Just review those again, even if you have already done that. And also you can try to exit out of Discord and reopen Discord and see if you'll be added there. What often happens is people have multiple YouTube accounts or channels and they are connected with the wrong one. So I would try to connect the one that you became a member on to the Discord. Lisa P, hey, long time no see. Yes, thank you for being here. Welcome. Nice to see you. I hope you are well. Dotki says, thanks, TAETRO. Love all the feedback. Everyone and understanding agree with adding a couple melodies throughout the track. Yeah. Not necessarily throughout the track, but I think like in a way that makes sense for the track, where it gets introduced maybe 3/4 of the way or at the golden mean point and then builds towards the end. Yeah. We're probably going to close submissions maybe at the top of the hour. It's hard for me to keep track of what's been added since we were live. But let's go with Wislow's track next. Further. We listen to this. This isn't the track from earlier this week, right? Maybe it is. Uchan. Yo, Madge Matt, I'm gonna put you in timeout for now because that's not how we act in this chat. But if you want to come back and not be like that, that's cool. All right, Wislow. Yes. We listened to this during the 343 Labs sample challenge earlier this week, and you have very specific feedback you're looking for. If I can read it from the Discord, if I could get more detailed feedback on what I can do to improve this track, like a commercial release. Don't pull any punches, dude. Thanks in advance. Okay, that's very specific because you're saying that you want this to be a more commercial release. You want this to be something that people have context for, something that people understand. So the advice that I'm going to give, some might say sounds like I'm trying to homogenize you into making something that's already kind of been made, but that's not it. It's how do you fit into a certain, this is not a bad thing, but how do you fit into the box with other people that are making maybe a similar kind of music? And to me, I think Andre Von Zark said it best in chat, without actually saying what I'm going to say, is that this track has a bit of an identity crisis. Andre Von Zark said either late night party or cyberpunk video game vibes. Now, if you were like, I loved to make the late night chill party vibes and blend it with the cyberpunk video game vibes, that's my thing that I want, I'd be like, that's great, you executed it well. But when you ask me how can I make this more like a commercial release, the thing that I think about is how can you not make it so this track is having an identity crisis, and you either have to be fully in one bucket or the other, the cyberpunk video game vibe or the late night chill party, because parts of this track have the liminal zone between two genres. That's a good way to put it, Nathan Simpson. I might have to just use that going forward. At the beginning, I think I kind of know what to expect, not in a boring way, but I kind of know, like, hey, this is going to be a lo-fi chill track. And then this synth comes in. What's worse, though, is that bright synth comes in at the same time those really nice chords come in. So to me, this is going to sound harsh, but I mean it with peace and love. Hearing a synth like that in this track is like kind of amateur vibes. And I only say that because that synth sound, that saw lead synth sound, is such like a easy grab for folks because it's so fun to play, right? And it's so like distinct sounding. So you play your keyboard and you feel good because you're like wielding this brutal saw synth. But in having all that fun, we forget that like, oh, this was kind of like a chill house track. And now I've added this cyberpunk video gamey kind of sound to it. So the thing for you, and also this was for a sample challenge. I think you gotta just take the I think you have to just take that sample out. It doesn't sound good. It's not pleasing to listen to. Maybe the melody is playing da, 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 da. maybe that gets included in a sound that fits. But right now, I just don't like how it sounds. And I can tell that it was like a sample from a sample challenge kind of just superimposed in there. So my final advice for you, Wislow, and this is what I also do for my music. It goes a little bit into what we did in the workshop where we talked about analyzing the music that you love, where you're going to find a bunch of tracks. Like, I don't know if this is, it is like meant to be like a proper house track, right? House style. What I want you to do is make a playlist of the house music that you really like, and make sure it's a cohesive playlist too. Like, cause there's lots of different subgenres of house, but make a house playlist that feels like a cohesive playlist. It doesn't have to be long. It can be like 3, 4, 5 songs. And of those songs, create a rule set. Do you hear this saw synth in those house tracks? Do you hear this type of rhythm? Do you hear, what do they do at the midpoint of their songs? What do they do to the bridge to build up? Like, even this sound, it's in that cyberpunk world, right? And maybe what you find is, oh, I don't actually want to make this chill house track. I want to make this more like harder cyberpunky kind of vibe. Or maybe you're like, oh, I'm just kind of, breaking the rules of what I actually want to make. So that's what I think you got to do. Barja says, I did it finally. Barja, if you could share in chat how you found that solution, that would be great, because it'll help us help other people in the future. I hope everybody else is able to get in properly. We had 2 new members come through, Callan and Hans. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for becoming members. Thank you to everybody who's become a member today. If you just became a member and I saw somebody type !Discord, which is not how that works. You can type in new member and Nightbot is going to share a link with you to figure out how to get into the Discord. Yes. So, Wislow, thank you for that submission. I think what you have is the bones of a very good, what I would do, what is, make an awesome lo-fi house track. With the bones of what's here, get rid of the harsh synths. You got off the wrong exit. You got off the Cyberpunk video game exit. Get back on the highway. Go for another bit longer and spend some more time diving into lo-fi house. Thanks for the support and help with things as always. We'll make that playlist ASAP. Awesome. Wislow, thank you for being a huge supporter for 10 months. Welcome. Yes, folks, if you're just joining, the Discord is for channel members. So if you want to join, you can join as low as the $2 tier, get access to the Discord, submit music to get your music heard today. Probably going to be closing up submissions soon. So get in quick, because we are stacked with submissions today and we're going to keep going through. Alja with Puffin Madness. What did the Puffins do to you, Alja? Hey, I'm while it's hot, says Altsy. You heard it first. This is an interesting track. Trista May, welcome to the community. Track's doing a lot. Oh, it's a track influenced by K-pop beats, Alja. Nice. Andre Fonsark says, where's the angry K-pop rapper? Yeah. Very interesting. Alja, what K-pop are you listening to? Nice. Blackpink, it's ECLC. Yes, I can definitely see that for sure. Well done on this, Alja. It's really cool. I love the thing about K-pop is it's like all these different things happening, right? It's drawing on hip hop, it's drawing on trap music, it's drawing on like future bass, EDM. And it's constantly moving, it's constantly switching, and I think you do that pretty well here. And you have the clear sections. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember on a first listen through. But especially I can see a clear song structure here. Hopefully you've been watching Alina Smith's streams if you are interested in making this kind of music, because she literally made Mafia in the Morning by ITZY. So the thing that, the main thing, feedback, is mix. Some stuff sounds super muffled, like the brass especially. Go listen to any, like, How You Like That. That's like a brass heavy song by Blackpink. That brass is nice and bright. Like you can almost feel the air coming out of those horns, right? Brass is not a thing we roll the highs off. We need a nice bright brass. In some sampled brass instruments, it is related to the velocity. So sometimes what I find if I'm making a track like this and I'm using a brass sound, you have to actually like really slam it down or really make sure you're on the highest velocity to get the sound that you want, which does have mixing implications. And there's just certain things like I think I'm listening on headphones, but give me just a second. I think I just need a bit more sub frequencies. But in the same way that I talk all the time about you have to analyze the music that you love, we talked about that with Wislow's track in terms of like sound selection and musical ideas, but that is also what you need to do for mixes as well. If I'm you, I think the closest track I can think of to this would be like La Lisa by Lisa. Go listen to that track and now compare your mix, because it has a lot of similar elements. The brass, the 808, almost similar vibe towards the bridge. And there was stuff happening in the bridge where it's like, yeah, give me more of that. And then the ending is very reminiscent of Kill This Love by Blackpink, because you switch to the 4 to the floor. I think you got to go harder on that though. I think a lot of it could be solved by getting your brass super wide and hard hitting. That's dope. Good job, Alja. Thank you. That's a refreshing change of pace. K-pop inspired track. Love that. Love that. Sub-Zero. Chill Hop Trap beat by Sub-Zero. Low key. Well, guess what, Sub-Zero? Better be in key. That's what I have to say to you, Sub-Zero. Not to pick on you too much. I have high hopes for you, Sub-Zero. It's almost like a Latin feel. Dentist put the stream out for Piccolo Black. Shout out to the dentists out there. What's the dentist's name? Piccolo Black. Type it. Type it. It says congrats on the arcade ad, by the way. Thank you. I actually did not. I only shared that on like Instagram or something, but yeah, did a beat with arcade. I'll talk more about that after this. Pre-save link for my new track just dropped in the chat. Please, peace and love. Pre-save. Sub-Zero, I think good job on the sound selection, I would say. I do really love the my music in my channel. Is it? Take a time out, Rita. I want to say good sound selection because I really do like the plucked guitar sounds. I, of course, love some of that perk in the background. I think it suffers a little from the same thing we talked about with Wizlow's track with having a bit of an identity crisis though, right? Because you say chill hop trap track, chill hop trap beat. I just don't know what to feel when listening to it, you know? Is it supposed to be energizing? Am I supposed to have dark feelings, or am I supposed to be like chill? And I think there are ways to incorporate trap elements in chill hop music, but I don't think a track can necessarily successfully be both chill hop and trap. I think it could be trap with chill hop elements, or it could be chill hop with trap elements. Does that make sense to everybody? Because I think they specifically imply different things, specific feelings when you listen to them. So if I were you, Sub-Zero, I would think about that and decide, do you want this to be trap? Do you want this to be kind of moving forward and get a rapper on it and have something like that? Or do you want it to be a laid back chill hop track? Which one do you want it to be? Because I think all the elements here are great. The only element I really like, people were complimenting the kick. I just can't quite get behind it because that kick is so much like, first of all, it's got like this really long tail and it's not tuned, or it's not an 808, but I can tell it has a really low frequency. And it kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the sounds, you know? Whereas I think if we went more into the chill hop direction and you had more of that chill hop lo-fi kick, it would make a little bit more sense. Or conversely, if you boosted the tempo a few points and added like an 808 instead of that kick, it might make more sense. You know, there's a couple different directions, but as usual, good job incorporating Indian instruments and making, I love that guitar sound. And I also like just love the noise in the background. It's got a great quality to it. Sub-Zero, I know you enjoy making music. Good job. I know I'm hard on you sometimes, but you always do well. You always come through is what I mean to say. And for you, maybe Beettober will be a good opportunity for you to explore finding a distinct sound for your music, rather than jumping genre to genre, sound to sound. But it's okay to also be in an exploration stage. All right. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, we have here a producer by the name of Piccolo Black. Currently, the dentist's hands are in his mouth. Did he floss in the past year? Whatever he told the dentist was probably a lie. We all lie to the dentist. We all say that, of course, we floss every day, when in fact, we don't. So shout out to all the dental professionals out there in Piccolo Black's dentist appointment. If you're curious what your patient's music sounds like, it sounds like this. Piccolo Black, I heard you were working on a beat video. Did it come out? Did I miss it? If you do, don't bite the dentist. Don't laugh while the dentist has their hand in your mouth. Okay, so if you read the description of this track, my friends, it has a very specific purpose, right? So I think that does change how we might critique it, right? So tried making something for an interlude. Please let me know what you think on the mix, learning to mix, process vocals in a busy track. So the first thing I thought at the beginning was it's a bit busy, but then it starts to settle in. So I do know that it's supposed to be an interlude, but I think you could ease us in a bit better. It's a little bit, we get dropped in with lots of different sounds, and it's kind of like hard to orient, even with that backbeat in there. I think that process vocal is coming in a bit too bright, and I'm hearing a lot of like top end air that is coming across in my ears, at least a little bit harsh. And it feels a little heavy to the right, panning wise. It feels like there's a lot of stuff on the right. I do hear stuff bouncing back and forth, but when that vocal, that process vocal, it has so much in that super high frequency range, and it's mostly on the right, that's when the unbalance is like very, very noticeable. By the time we get to this section, I'm like, okay, thank God, I have something to grab onto. And as usual, I think all the sounds sound pretty good, but yeah, you might consider using a de-esser or something. I do love the collage nature of this as an interlude. I think that makes a lot of sense. The 808 sounds pretty good to me. It's just like some of that high-end stuff is a bit too distracting, and you have a lot going on there because you have those perks, you have that higher vocal, you got synth with top end in it too, so you got to hone some of that, and it's a little bit all over the place, especially with those perks. Like some of those perks, even though they are just like little tiny incidental perks, are like the loudest thing in the track. So find a place for those perk sounds to be placed in the stereo field. Those are things that if that vocal is not centered, the vocals kind of should be centered and those perks should be happening around it. It's really the opposite that's happening. A lot of those perks are centered and the vocals are a little to the side. But I'm a big fan of your creativity and your approach to this kind of music making, because it's abstract, but it still works. You know, it's abstract, but not in an overly clinical way. Not in an overly like, you know, people say they're making it, oh, we're just making it abstract and that's their excuse for making bad music. I think this is abstract in a accessible way. Someone to listen to, it's not exactly the same kind of music, but listen to like Sean Wasabi tracks, because those are tracks that have all different ear candy and things happening all over the place in the mix, but it still sounds pretty good. So maybe that's a good reference point for you to check out as well. But thank you, Piccolo Black. I hope you don't have any cavities. Just became a member, but confused on how to submit. Well, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. And somebody else just became a member too. Christoph Sui. If you all are confused on how to become a member, just type !new member. The directions are in the bottom left corner. Peace and love. Peace and love. Arcade Records is up next. Why does this always open in a new window? This too shall pass. I like this. Good blend of the guitar and the... Nice. Sidechain is a little too extreme, I would say. Just a little bit. Nice. Cool. I need to set a camera up on the couch because the cat is snoozing. Nice. Haven't finished mixing or mastering yet. Great, great, great. This too shall pass. Arcade Records in the community. Beautiful track. Beautiful bed of sound. I think it's got a nice structure to it. It's mellow. It's showing some discipline. It's not doing too much. I think the main thing I do just have any feedback for would be the mix, especially piano. I find piano very challenging. Also, I mentioned sidechain a little too heavy-handed, a little too extreme. But piano, I think I also struggle with mixing piano because you want piano to have a nice deep sound, but you don't want it to have some of that low-end mud that often comes with piano. And I'm not sure which piano you're using, which like VST sound, or maybe you recorded an actual piano. We've got the sound of the keys in there, the sounds of the hammers. I think there's some pedal sounds in there too, probably. And those are like these kind of lower wooden kind of sounds. And those are, I think, muddying up the mix a little bit. So if you have control, if it's a VST and you have control over the actual noise of the piano, not the notes themselves, I would just dial back on that a little bit. Might be worth a slightly wider sound on the guitar too. Don't do too much though. And subtractive EQ is always good to do on a guitar because the piano and the guitar are crossing over a lot in the frequency spectrum in that mid-range. There's a lot of frequencies often in guitar that we can just pull out, which will actually get us a bit clearer of a sound in the mid-range. So I would maybe just watch a couple tutorials on subtractive mixing for guitar parts. Something that I've seen a lot of producers do with guitar to get some of the mud out and to make room for other things. But otherwise, don't stress it too much. I do expect this track to be released probably within, whenever you feel comfortable, of course, but don't like stress it to the point that it doesn't get released. I think this track should see the light of day. No matter what state the mix is in, just do the best that you can and get it out there. It'll be a great candidate for the Lo-Fi Loft playlist. So thank you. This too shall pass. As usual, folks, if you enjoy the music that you're hearing today, please go to the individual producers' pages and give them a follow. We usually do this once per month. So if you are a member or if you have not become a member yet, now is the time. I'm going to close submissions at the top of the hour. So you can become a member by hitting the join button down below, become a member at any tier and get in the Discord, or you can get really lucky if somebody decides to gift memberships today and randomly get gifted a membership. But you become a member, you get some exclusive stuff. Go to the community tab on my channel, youtube.com/TAETRO, then find the community tab. There will be different posts for members only. Some include free downloads for all tiers. Some include free downloads for members only. For VIP. And if you do become a member, VIP is the best value because you get access to our previous members only workshops and the workshops when they are live as well. I'll be traveling to Korea next month, so we won't do a track review next month, but we will be doing track reviews weekly in October to make up for it and for our community event, Beettober. So yeah, thank you to everybody who has submitted, everybody who's been hanging out in chat today. I hope you all are having a good time. Where are you all watching from? Let's do a quick check-in on that. And we're going to keep going because we got a lot more music to listen to. Let me do a quick count. Is that Beisha in the chat? Wow. Also, members, don't forget that you have a free super chat. 5, 6, 7, 8. You have a free super chat. Feel free to use that as a member. That's a member milestone chat. You get one every single month. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Get comfortable, people. What did I say? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We got 24 more tracks to go. I severely undercounted. ET, nobody knows. Let's keep listening. All right, submissions are closed, my friends. If you're already a member, though, if you just became a member and you're still working on submitting, you're good to go, though. Don't worry about that. Ooh, that's not the button I want. Oh, you can all see the cat? No. This is spooky. First time uploading. Horrorcore, yeah. Some of these drum sounds in this section are popping out a bit too much. Christoph, thank you for the super chat. Thomas Martinez, thank you for the super chat. Y'all are so nice. Appreciate you. All right. A good example of a well-executed concept, right? I saw somebody say, J-Steed said Jason doing trap. Yes, it's got that horror, trap, grimy vibe, as some of you have pointed out in chat. Of course it says haven't mixed and mastered yet, but you know, the mixing is where it's going to come through. It does sound like a lot of these sounds are a bit... or maybe just the track was rendered at a lower quality. Sounds like, you know, a beat you download off the internet at like 320 or like 128 kilobits or something. And mix wise, the drums for sure is where I would start. Not sure if there's any sidechain happening there, but sidechain for sure will help this a lot, because sometimes that choir definitely sets a mood, or that voice that's playing really long legato notes, but it gets a little exhausting and heavy sometimes, especially when it's sort of running throughout most of it, you know? Reminds me of GTA. And I think the implication is that it would have a rapper or vocalist on it, which I could for sure see. And I think that also affects the mix, right? Like some of this melodic bell stuff wouldn't be nearly as loud because it'd be getting in the way of a vocalist. But that stuff you don't do until you really have a top line. And I mentioned this on another stream this week, I think, but... go on Splice or go onto any sample pack site and try to find a decent pack of like top line samples with like rappers on them or something, just to put it in there and for mixing purposes to make sure your instrumental is mixed properly and that there is space for a vocalist. That's the easiest way if you don't have access to a you know, vocalist in the moment. Well done, ET, well done. I saw a question about submitting via Dropbox. Don't make things harder for yourself. I think just use SoundCloud. I don't know if there's a case where SoundCloud is not usable, but and also submissions are closed today anyway. Let's keep it moving. We have Joshua Home Music with a video. Outdoor video vibes. Oh, by the way, let me read those milestone chats. R. Clay, good job to everyone who submitted music. Thanks for being a part of this great community. And thank you, TAETRO. Love to be a part of this. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for the feedback, TAETRO, and everyone else. Wow. Would definitely check for a vocalist. I wanted to give a big thanks to TAETRO and this community. Y'all helped me so much the past 7 months. I've definitely started to find my sound. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for sharing those. If you are a member, you have your own member milestone chat, but appreciate all of you members for supporting this channel. Joshua Ho, cool video vibes here. I think the field recording is a bit too loud, Joshua Ho. It's like much louder than everything else. Some of that open hi-hat's popping out a bit too much, a bit too loud. I love the guitars though. I love the guitar parts for sure. This track is 5 minutes long. I just realized that. My friend, I don't think it needs to be 5 minutes long. I think we were coming to the end of something cool here. We'll listen to a little bit past 3 minutes, but usually we keep it to 3 so we can get to everybody's tracks, you know? Oh, breakdown alert. Oh. Wow. Was it 7? Was it in 7? Let's just roll that back and wait. Cool. All right. Yeah. I just want to run that back for a second. Count this, chat. Where's the downbeat? 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3. Isn't it 7? The whole track? All right, whatever. I went to music school, I guess. 2, 3. I'm counting 7. Anyway, that's cool, and it didn't draw too much attention to itself, so that's well executed if that is the case. So Joshua Ho, good job. I like that you did a video. It's really cool. The track is a bit long. I think it overstays its welcome a bit, and okay, so it's like not actually 5 minutes 30 seconds long. It's like more like, but I do think by the 3-minute mark it had run its course. You could have brought that bridge section in a little sooner. And the reason I say that is not because it's like boring, it's because there's not really much new offered beyond it. So it takes away from the listener's experience if it's like, okay, we've just kind of repeated a bit. And the reason I talk about the mix being very, very important is because this is supposed to be a lo-fi chill hop beat. You have a very relaxed setting here, nighttime, woods and everything. And the mix matters a lot in that, because if you have something like that hi-hat, that open hi-hat really jumping out at people, it's not relaxing. It's kind of anxiety inducing. So just really hone this mix, because it has to not call too much attention to itself. And that field recording, it's got to come way, way down. If I listen to this on full volume, it's nearly unlistenable because of the field recording. But otherwise, keep going. I like it. The video style is interesting. First things first, for visual feedback, is like this line. It looks like the parking lot is sinking into a crevice. So you want to keep your lines straight. And then second of all, with the text on screen, I do think it's interesting to do like a text on screen sort of story or like blog post-ish kind of thing over the course of the song. But make sure you're saying something like original, something a little more than, you know, hang in there. That is one of the lines that stuck out to me. And they kind of just like pop on. So think about this from a chill, relaxing point of view. Text just popping on and popping out is not very relaxing. It's kind of like flash in your face. Should they more dissolve in? Should they be staying on screen sooner? Should they be dissolving in, dissolving out? You know, all that kind of thought does matter in the world that you're creating. But fantastic guitar work. I love all the sounds in this. The piano against the guitar, against the acoustic drum set, even though there's mix issues, I do think that whole sound selection is great. So good song, good melodies, good instruments, good playing. Hone some of those things that we talked about though. Joshua Home Music, well done. Go give a sub if you haven't yet, people. Essie. Did somebody type thank you, dot key. Yes, you're way ahead of me. Okay, this next track, I gotta run to the bathroom really quick, but I'm gonna be so fast and I'm gonna start playing the track anyway. I'm gonna play it on speakers. It's by Essie. By far, my proudest one, Essie with Cozy, and we got a cat with a computer. So let's listen to Essie. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be back before the beat drops. Let me turn up my speakers. Sorry if it feeds back into the mic. Peace and love. Peace and love. I see. Good job. You're hitting all the right notes here. It's got all the elements. Bells and whistles. I mean, at a certain point, this type of music doesn't need too much of the bells and whistles, though I do think it could make it more interesting. SB44 style performance effects, of course, but the thing about it is, you know, this is the red flag that I point out all the time. When something happens from the beginning of your track to the end of your track and it never goes away, that should be a signal to you that it's got to have a real good reason to be there from beginning to the end, or that you do need one section of variation, one moment of variation. And what I'm talking about here is the chord progression, the piano. Dun, 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 dun. Either that, or even though it's only a 2-minute 22-second track, maybe it's only a 1:30 long track, you know? Because we're here and we've added new things like bells and guitar on top of it, but it's still the same progression. I think you could find a sweet chord progression that works with this song that is different from the one that's played from beginning to the end. A little hint of a B section would help us more justify the track's length, you know? But other than that, like, I can tell, Essie, that you did your homework on, like, these are the sounds I want to use. This is the kind of track I want to make. It's very clear. You sound like you've been making lo-fi for a while. You are right to say that this is your proudest one. You should be proud of this track is what I mean to say there. But good job. Keep making music like this. And that is just my only piece of feedback is like, we can push it a little further. We can push it a little further, either a section with a new chord progression. Because again, folks, the reason I always harp on that is because you have a great chord progression. Yes, that's why you chose it, right? But you know what makes it even more effective for the listener is getting it taken away, but then being able to bring it back. Alja, member for 16 months. Thank you so much for VIP. TAETRO, thank you for your work and all advice you give us to become better producers. It definitely works. I appreciate that, Alja. And you know what? You're 100% right, because the more we do these track reviews and the more people submit like multiple times and I get familiar with their music, I totally hear the progression. Eminem, that's not how this works. So I'm gonna put you in timeout, my friend. There's always room for improvements to Stockshop. Yes, that's correct. Essie, great work. Let's keep things moving. General Jam the Jet. General Jam the Jet. UFO trap beat. Traptor beam. Alien trap type beat. Dark trap type beat. Can you fit trap type beat one more time in the title? Mix is rough, my friend. It's peaking. Hi-hats are too loud, but I always think that. Cool art, though. Tag. Like that crunchiness on the sample in the middle. It doesn't sound intentional. There's just like this overall peaking. So for your mix, you got to just bring down the track levels, because later on in the mixing and mastering process, levels will come up of the whole track. Man, these hi-hats are just in my brain. Okay. General Jam the Jet, everybody. So yeah, I think in general the musical ideas are good. The feel of the track is well executed. I understand what you're going for here, but mix-wise, it just doesn't sound clean. So bringing down those levels on each track will be helpful to you. If anything's in the red, which I assume that it is in your DAW, you do not want it to be in the red. So not please, but I would suggest that you bring down those every track volume, and then later on in sort of a mastering process, everything will come up. So don't worry too much about loudness in that initial stage, because it's making some of your stuff a little too crunchy. And make sure everything fits in the same world. Like, it's okay to have these trap hi-hats and these brighter drums with these muffled samples, these dark samples, but the high-end stuff is coming across as much louder than the samples, you know? Just be careful of that. The helicopter effect. I do like the tag. The tag was a bit loud, but I do like it. More compression, less volume. I don't know if the answer is necessarily more compression, but less volume for sure. Is the chair comfortable? The chair is comfortable. Thank you for asking, Eddie. The one thing that I struggle with, and I remember I changed this back in the Lo-Fi Loft as well, is the camera's there. So my body, my neck, and everything constantly is trying to trend this way while also focusing this way. So I don't know if I'm going to keep the camera there, if I'm going to center it again, because constantly doing this and the way my body shifts with that is a problem. But this chair is comfortable because I can lean back, but it gives like resistance. Anyway, Warm Reflection. Mika, is this a new artist name? Was it this last time? All right. Anyway, I'm excited to listen to this. We got drum and bass. I've been working much on music lately as I'm getting ready to move, but I've been listening to a lot of breakcore, drum and bass jungle, and I thought it'd be fun to try to make some inspired by those genres. Mix is pretty rough, but I wanted to get something in this month to get some initial feedback. I'm still relatively new to music production, and I'm still leaning and experimenting, but very eager to get better. We know that. Warm Reflection. JC said, I'm submitting in October. It'll be my first time. Let's go. Oh, okay. Here we go. I still hear the shoegazy vibe though, so that's cool. Nice guitar. Great B section. Very cool. This is great. I wonder if you're planning to go fully into like this jungle drum and bass breakcore genre, because it sounds really, really cool. So you know what a lot of you people, a lot of you folks in chat do? You may be making a track where it's just like going hard like this from the jump, and then you just never stop. But what Mika did, what Warm Reflection did here, is exactly what we've been talking about. You build to something, and then you do something new, but it's still in the world, right? A B section, people. A B section. This is a perfect example of a well-executed B section. It's contrasting. It obviously is contrasting. We introduced a new instrument, guitar. We took away the drums, but it still fits in the world. There are still some elements hanging on from the previous section. And then what happens? We get to go back. We get to go back to the cool fire like beat part, you know? So that's the note for everybody to take here. And then my feedback for you, Mika, is that the drums. So like I hear that you come from like this shoegaze world. I can hear it in the song. But everything, the drums mostly are sounding a bit too washed out. So we're not getting any punchiness of drums. And I don't listen to too much of this genre, but I think jungle music, the drums are usually kind of right in front, right? They're not too washed out usually. So I think it's okay to bring in this washed out sound because I think it does make a good atmosphere, but I think maybe a little bit less. Give me more drums front and center. And probably a bit more bass. Some room on the drums is fine, but they sound totally like in another room. Or not in another room, but like we're in a warehouse and the drums are like 100 yards away. But overall, all the musical ideas are good. It does not overstay its welcome. Like I said, good job on the arrangement. Like a proper outro. A lot of you skip the outro too. A lot of you are just like, oh, and my beat's done. But this is like very intentional, ending with that melody. We've got clear intro. We jump right in with the beat. We have clear B section. And we have this end section, which, by the way, my test... It's slightly different with some of those effects and those beat stutters, which adds enough variation. And there's a couple synth things happening over here that are not happening over here. But even if it is very, very close, A section and then A2, or like chorus, if you want to think of it that way, because we had this space in the middle to forget or to want it back, it's okay if it's kind of closer to what this is here. A lot of you just do like A section, beginning to end. So Mika, I applaud you for this. Nice job jumping into this kind of new genre. It is very cool. And I think you bring that influence of the shoegaze ambient stuff into this is going to serve you very well. Good job. Let's keep it rolling. Next up, we got Boz or Petrichor. I love the person that just comes in chat and is just instantly confused. Just listen for a little while. You won't be confused if you just listen and hang out for a bit. You don't have to jump in. You don't have to chat right away, everybody. Man, is it me or is that... Okay, the noise is gone now. Nextel. Bum, bum. interesting in the background. Like the out of key creepy piano. My instant reaction was to not like it. But I think I'm kind of with it. I probably said this last time, but I think you and Piccolo Black live on the same street in terms of being able to use all this patchwork of different sounds and making it work together in a very cool way. Bar just said in chat the drums could be more dirty, and I think I agree with that, because my initial reaction is, man, that hi-hat is just so loud. But I always think that, so I'm self-conscious that it's just like my ears. But I think it's not, maybe not necessarily about the loudness of the hi-hats, more about how they are just so clear and crisp, where everything else in the track is kind of dirty and dark. So could the drums get a little bit more saturation? Could they sound like they're coming from a slightly older drum machine rather than being super clean? Even the kick has like a crispy top end, which you could achieve with a little bit of saturation or distortion or something. A bit of brightness on the top end, but brightness that comes from a distortion or a saturation is different from it just sounding like a very clean kick. You know what I mean? Otherwise, with my initial reaction to that piano, I think it's important just to talk to y'all about how I think about this is like, I heard that piano in the background and it's clearly like away from the actual key of the song, right? Like it's clearly supposed to sound spooky and out of key. So my initial reaction is, ugh, don't like that. But the actual point of that sound, I think, is to be like, ugh, creepy, dirty, weird. So instead of having that initial reaction be my actual thought, you have to have a bit of introspection about like, oh, it's supposed to be dirty, haunting, weird sounding. It's supposed to be out of key. It's on purpose. So that's a way that I interpret that. Nice work, Boz. Did I skip one? No. Okay, we're good. Doug Tor is up next. Repetition legitimizes. Yes, that also helps as well. Play a wrong note once, it's a wrong note. Make it a theme, it's thematic, you know? Whip gang. We got Vocaloid vibes. There's no bass. It's just all sounding a bit thin and weirdly compressed. Stop typing fix this mix, J-Steed. Yo, Balls, thanks for renewing that subscription and being a VIP member for 16 months. Absolute insanity. Am I just losing concentration, or is there not much to grab onto here? Like, I'm not hearing a theme, you know? Got like a bit of a medieval sound to it. I think D in chat, you all help me out, sort my thoughts out. No, like no tension, no release. Yes, there's no tension, no release in this, is what I would say.
Soon it will all be going down.
I do think the use of the Vocaloid is interesting. But one thing about it though is like every time the vocal happens, it seems like there's a synth playing in unison with it, and I don't love that. And also all the rhythms are very simple. Dot 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 dot. It's all very straight ahead. Dot 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 dot. So like, because you're using this virtual voice, right? So like the challenge is how do you make it not sound super virtual, and it having that super rigid rhythm most of the time is not helpful. Everything is sounding a bit over compressed. Everblue put dynamics, need to find a way to add more dynamics, and I think the key is like less compression. Because even though this section is less dense and doesn't have a singer, it's still just like a wall of sound. Here's the closest thing we get to a B section. And it's still like the whole spectrum is occupied, the whole frequency spectrum. That transition's nice though. If there was more interesting stuff like that, it'd be a stronger track. But especially the drums, like there's crashes in here I'm noticing now that are just like super duper compressed. It sounds very like operatic, very like theater-ish, like a musical a bit. Yeah, I just threw on some compressor and limiter because I haven't done much of mixing it all yet. Yeah, I would just not. Don't just throw on the compressor, the limiter just for the sake of it, you know? Like, just be intentional. It sounds like it could potentially be a musical, but there's no drama, you know what I mean? Like, it needs more drama. And when we just kind of like even look at the waveform, right? Like the waveform is kind of just a brick of sound all the way through, besides the intro. So find more ways to do variation, not just in musical ideas, but in instrumentation and in arrangement. Build us up to something. I tried to, but your stream is today, not tomorrow. Yeah, of course. And I understand that people are uploading works in progress, you know? That's the point of feedback. But Doug Tor, thank you for that submission. I wonder what vocal program we're using. R. Clay, you're up next. You and I. Famous Lady Gaga cover we got coming here. Yeah, sometimes I like don't know what's happening in chat and I don't want to react to stuff if I don't have the full context. So if you're being rude in chat, chill out. I'm just gonna time you out next time. Or sometimes y'all like... I'll talk about it after this track. Snap was a little too front and center for me. And there was a couple other percussion things. It's like, oh, something jumped out at me, you know? Love these bell sounds. The birds are a little overbearing for me, though. Nice. I like the rhythm of that sort of delayed shaker hi-hat thing, but I wish it didn't stop because it's carrying on an important rhythm that's propelling the track forward. Yeah, and it's similar to the feedback. This is a beautiful soundscape right here, I'll just say. But it's also like, don't use field recordings for the sake of field recordings. Like we have rain, we have birds, then rain. You know, like I think maybe stick to one vibe for a track. Unless there's a real purpose to go from rain to birds, you know? But... like this is just nice, but some of those percussion, like think about how big and open airy these chords sound, and the main hi-hat and kick and snare are beautifully mixed, like lo-fi vibe, and then those random hits come in that are just like super bright and out of nowhere. Where's the snap? And then that snap is like so close to my ear. You know? It's a similar feedback to Joshua Home music from before. It's like, it's supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be chill. It's supposed to be beautiful. Don't have things jump out and scare people. It's not Beettober yet. It's not Halloween yet. That's why mix is a tool, not just like to get your music sounding professional, but it also makes sense thematically. Some of these tracks, like I'll just K-pop track, it makes sense to have like a blaring brass horn pop in. In lo-fi chill beats, it doesn't make sense to have things dynamically pop in. But I don't want to harp on that too much because I think overall you have beautiful soundscape here. Keep going with this art, Clay. Well done. Good art too. Did you do your own artwork? It looks really good. Let's bring back Faded Faded dropped this today, right? Just released today, ready for your review, bro. Let's get it. AI generated for the art, nicely done, Art Clay. Is it Dali?
Faded. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too.
This isn't for the faint of hearts. I've been killing Mike from the start. You can't keep us apart. It's straight to the chart, sweetheart. I've been in love right from the start. Cupid went straight from my heart. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here, and that's what sets you apart. Your work of art, you listen to me with a broken heart. Some tracks I broke apart. Gave my whole soul to you like it's voodoo. Now I hope we can restart. I started and wrote with a pen and pad. I wanted to rap, I thought I was bad, but then I realised I could talk about the pain that I had. Saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too. All the pain that I was going through with my mum trying to kill us out. I didn't know what was going on upstairs in my house. I was so confused, so I started acting out. I wanted to put my own lights out. I didn't have it figured out. With my mental health, I didn't know how to handle these thoughts. So I started to write them down, shared a few friends to see what they thought. They thought I was funny like I'm a clown. They couldn't relate, how could they? So I put all that pain in my music just to let it burn out like an ashtray. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too. I bleed on the track, rap is addicted to me like it's crack. I'm broken hearted, surprised my heart ain't attacked. My life departed, but then I found them. I was young back then, I wanted to rap and be just like them. Thought I could make anything happen with just my pen. Turns out I had to grind, needed to find my way. I spent a lot of days locked in, watching how to make beat videos all day. And then tried to notch in my own style. Then I needed to learn how to mix, that's a lot more hours of shit. Grinding away, every second I love. Music was my one true love. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too. You saved me, you gave me some boy to talk to. I'm crazy, but maybe you are too.
Spend so much time mixing. Learn music. I like that. It's like third wall breaking there at the end. Faded, if I can remember correctly, it is hard for me to remember past submissions, but I think your vocals, production-wise, are sounding so much better than they did last time. Really good. And what you did is you did the variation between the verses and the hooks. We got those layers in the background that are nice and wide for this hook. And then the verse is just kind of a solo vocal down the middle. So good job on that. The vocals are sounding great. Shout out to you for producing and writing and putting it together as a video. Huge achievement for you, my friend. You got it. You got to keep going with this stuff, and you're going to keep getting better and better every single time, for sure. I think there's a world in which we can see what you're actually playing, you know? Instead of just clips of you playing where it will actually sync up with the track. Consider that. And then just mix-wise, there's of course some notes where it's like, in the chorus, there's that string instrument. Dun, 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 dun. So in the chorus, what should be the loudest thing? Of course, it should be the vocals, and they pretty much are, but that solo instrument ends up competing. So you want to just put that in the background. It's a melody. Yes, it is fine to have it there. We will still hear it if it is below the vocals. So just be aware of that. But man, Faded, you crushed it. Keep going, my friend. Upload it today. Folks, my man wrote the rap, recorded the vocals, made the beat, recorded it on video, edited it, posted it in time. Why are some of you telling me you can't post a track on SoundCloud for a beat review? My man did all that. Setting the bar. Peace and love, peace and love. And the thing that I was going to say earlier is like sometimes y'all jump in chat, not everybody, but sometimes people jump in chat and they say things that like there's not enough context for. Like you're trying to make a joke, but there's not enough context. We're not in real life, so we can't hear tone. We can't hear whatever. So like, don't be that person. We need a bit more social skills than that. You're in a chat. People have no context for what you're saying unless it's part of an ongoing conversation. So just be aware of that when you're typing things. If you mean something as a joke or if you mean something in jest, it's not always going to come off that way. And if you're responding to something I said, there's likely a delay. Like there's people in my comments from like, it'll be a video that I posted like 4 years ago and they're responding to a specific statement I said in the video with no context. Like I'll like in the middle of a video, I'll be like, oh, I wonder if you guys like the sound of this synth or whatever. And then somebody will comment, no context off that little one remark and be like, yeah, that synth sound is good, but blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, in the video, I used like I used a bunch of synths to make the beat or whatever. That's just an example, but it's like people think I'm responding in real time or something, or that they're talking to me in real time. And even in the stream chat, you're not always talking to people in real time. So just be aware of that as you hang out in this chat. But thank you all for hanging in there. This has been a great stream so far. How long have we been going for? Since about 11:45, right? So what are we coming up on? 2 hours? H3O with their first... Says my first pancake. Interesting. Oh, I didn't see that coming. All the way from Lithuania. Thank you, H3O. Is a little too much going on. A little bit of an identity crisis again in this track. Probably want to find some focus, but let's keep listening on. A little bit of peaking here in the mix. So again, pulling all your volumes down, recording at a lower volume. As we approach the end, or as we approach the 3-minute mark here, I'm just going to start giving some feedback. So first and foremost, thank you for submitting this track and the message that you wrote, both here on SoundCloud and in the Discord. It's a track that has come from an emotional place, and so I appreciate that. Music that comes from an emotional place is, I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. So hopefully you were able to use this track making process as some type of outlet. So the feedback that I'll give you is not a invalidation of like any of the feelings or emotions or whatever that come along with the track. They're purely from like a technical music making standpoint. Just put that out there. So immediately what we notice is first of all, congrats on submitting your first track. What we got to point out though is like we've talked about tracks earlier in the stream with Identity Crisis. This one has not just identity crisis, but maybe multiple personality disorder. At first, it was like, okay, piano comes in and you're like, it's a ballad. All right, that's fine. Then the dance drums come in. And then it's like, oh, okay, interesting. That's still fine. But eventually, as it goes on, it just like continues to add other things where that it ends up no longer making sense. Like some of the random little sounds, you know? And then we switch to this drum break and that kind of... What is that string instrument? Kind of like a banjo thing? Everblue put it kind of well. I like how intentionally cluttered it feels. Chaos and order at the same time at the end. Yeah. So like, what did we talk about earlier in today's stream? If something is in your track from beginning to the end, it's a red flag that you don't have enough variation. So the piano is there from beginning to the end. That's one red flag. Chord progression never changes, etc. Here's a red flag for you. If you have more than two drum tracks, more than two drum kits, I should say, in a track, another red flag. So you have like those acoustic like drum break kind of drums, then you have the dance sort of drums. And there's like some other more electronic-y kind of drums later on. Don't do too much. Keep it simple for all beginners. So what you have here is like a track where technically everything is in key. Technically everything is pretty much in time. But they don't all fit together, unfortunately. And this is a thing that we see a lot with beginners is you're learning the mechanics of making music. So if you can at least get things to fit and make sense, and get things to fit in the box in a neat and orderly fashion, we feel like we've done it. But the next step for you, H3O, is to maybe even dive deeper into this concept you talked about, of the emotions that were coming through during the making of this song. Does a dance beat like really make sense? Does the drum break make sense? Does that kind of plucked stringy instrument make sense? What are you actually trying to convey? This is where your taste and your artistic direction come through. It's not just about what things fit, what things can technically work. It's about what is the actual sonic world you're trying to make. So as a first effort, you're better off than some that might have things out of key, things not in time, things technically incorrect. But now that you're learning the technical stuff, it's time to now think about what's the actual painting you're trying to paint. Right now, it's sort of a collage that's not super... I think the mix of genre is to show the false accusation felt like to H3O. Yeah, I think there are ways to convey things like that without going too far out there. So similar advice that I give to other people: find songs that convey this emotion that you're feeling. Find songs that inspired you to make music in the first place that also convey a similar emotion, and think about that and study them and see what they do and how do they convey that. How do they bring a bit of darkness in? How do they bring a bit of maybe even confusion in without going a little bit too off the rails? Nevertheless, regardless of all that feedback, you made something and you put it out there. So you should be proud of yourself. And we'll be looking forward to your next track. So keep going. If it were me, I would like to hear the piano and the vocal developed a bit more. I would like to hear like a fleshed out piano ballad, start from that point, and then build on top of it. Thank you, H3O, for submitting. Saksham is up next. Hypnosis. Zero mixing knowledge right now, but wanted to show you something and get a little feedback. Let's check it out. Thanks. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm a little worried for the volume of the track here and where we're going to get to here. Oh, that's the bass. It's a bit quieter than the other tracks. Try again, Edichi. Third time's a charm. That bass is nice. I would do less movement in it. Let it just rock that bass note. To me, the bass sounds nice on my headphones. I can obviously tell by looking at the waveform that it's a bit too loud, right? But I like a nice sub bass. But a sub bass like that shouldn't have too much movement. You got melodies moving on top, you know? My first attempt at making a full track. Hoping you like it, TAETRO. Well, Saksham, or Seiko, this is not a bad first attempt at making a song at all. Especially from an arrangement point of view, from a musical idea point of view. I think you could kind of keep all the individual melodies, the rhythm, the structure. That's good. And it really is, for you, going to come down to mixing. If you all are making this kind of music, like, the only way I can really convey to you, like, how I do my mixing is for you to just tune back into some of those previous live streams where I'm working on a full track and just pay close attention to how I have everything set up so it's a clean sound from the get-go. You know, like my default Ableton template starting with tracks at -12, my basic audio processing rack, the way you take low end out of things that don't need low end, certain things like that, and how I'll mix on the fly. But I do like the synthy sounds here. And especially the chords too. Like those big bright chords. Limiter would help boost the gain. Yeah, but also you can solve it in the mix too, you know? Because we introduce a new like melodic instrument higher up here, and that's nice, but it still has the same chords behind it. Some of the percussion stuff is just poking out too loud too. Like that reverby snare is clearly supposed to be like in the background, but it's very much just like a reverb snare in front of me. Dark lo-fi. I like this. I think the success in the structure and the melodic and the sound selection and the musical ideas comes from you seem to have a kind of a clear concept. So that is your strength. Next is to get into the technical mixing side of things. Most of us have to learn mixing is what I'm seeing, Eddie T. Yes, all of us for sure. Same. It is a lifelong process, I think, unless you're going to devote your life to becoming a mix engineer. If I could outsource one part of my process, it would be mixing. I absolutely hate mixing. I hate the process. I hate going back and forth to checking the mix to the project file, to checking it on these speakers and it sounds like this, checking on that and it sounds like that. Oh, Andre Von Zark using Sabrina's vocal samples. Hey, we had one like this last time. I'm worried. 8-bit techno house remix. I'm a little worried. That's interesting. Okay, I'm with you, Andre. I'm with you. Outsourcing it. I want to outsource it. I don't want to do the mixing. Where's the beat drop? I'm waiting. It's interesting. Some of that sounds a little too harsh. Like, I think you actually made the vocals a little too harsh. This is a really good section, I think. Like, if that's supposed to be a heavy part, the loudest thing is that perk, you know? And I don't think that the 8-bit is helping anybody. Like, tech house, it might sound 10 times better if you just had a normal tech house kick rather than an 8-bit kick, you know? DSR on the vocals for sure. And we're over the 3-minute mark, but yeah. Also structurally, it's a remix and I know the vocal stems. I don't know what's in this vocal pack, if the whole song is. But structure still matters even though you're doing a remix, you know? Similar to a earlier one where it's like no tension and release, where it's like the structure isn't quite building into anything. It starts on a very long intro journey before the beat actually drops. But I might try to get into the beat quicker and then use some of this quieter stuff later, you know? One verse and chorus and just harmonies. Yeah, for sure. One verse and one chorus, which I think you could still do a fair amount with. But even that being said, so if it's one verse and one chorus, why make a 6-minute remix when you don't have enough variation to support that, you know? Unless you're really going to do something different with the vocals, chop them or something. But when you're using full phrases like this, you're using like the same chorus multiple times. So we have to justify the repetition. Carried away with the harmonies. I think some of the stuff you did with the vocals is good, and some of these synths are cool too. But I think if you just try this, Andre, because I know you love the 8-bit stuff. And if this kills your love for, you know, making music, then ignore what I'm saying. But abandon 8-bit for a while. Take like a week off doing 8-bit sounds and focus on, like, if you like tech house, focus on tech house sounds. I just think 8-bit is like, I don't know. I think you have good musical ideas here, and there is something to this remix. So if it was straight up tech house sounds versus the 8-bit sounds, it just might sound a bit more professional. And this, by the way, is vocals from a song by an independent artist that I really like, Sabrina Nicolette. Go check her out on Instagram and all that. The song is called Second Chances. It's one of my favorite songs. Thank you, Andre Von Zark. It's interesting. Did the two people that have used those vocals so far, did you find her from me or find her through somebody else? Because she's kind of a independent artist with not that huge of a following. So yes, Andre Von Zark says, I love 8-bit and techno and tech house and drum and bass and metal and jazz and lo-fi house. And my biggest recommendation is like pick one and live in that world, or have like two projects where like you have your 8-bit project and then you have your drum and bass project or whatever, you know. You can bring in influences from each, but if you try to put all that in the blender and have that all represented equally, it's just like, imagine going to your kitchen and just throwing every ingredient from every shelf into a blender and trying to eat that. It doesn't taste good. Or try throwing it in your garbage disposal like somebody did with this piece of metal in my garbage disposal. Jiminator. Piccolo Black, if you're still here, can you share more about your experience at the dentist? Hi, Karina. I'm just going to put a graphic on screen that says the hi-hats are too loud and leave it on screen. I think the kick could have more low end for sure. It's punchy, right? But there's not a lot of low end in it at all. I like the synth sound selection for the most part. except this one in the middle here. Dun, 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 dun. That one is not quite fitting. I'm hearing a bit of over compression too, because you can tell when the drums go away, something is pushing down those synth sounds because you can hear a swell. Faded is freestyling on this. Maybe Jiminator J and Faded gotta link up. I think overall it has a cool vibe. I like this use of footage. It's just a bit eerie, right? And maybe it could benefit from an 808. I know we've got that low legato bass, but maybe it could go with a 808 bass that links up with the kick, and that would solve the kick issue. But I like that it's dark with vintage retro-y sounding synths without sounding like cheesy 80s synthwave, you know? Even though it does have a taste of synthwave in it. I like this chill wave. Chill wave, hard wave. I love that shot. Like this, the music and the visuals right there, I love that. But the reason I don't like that main lead melody here is because it's so dry when everything else is so spatial and wavy. This is so creepy. All right, thank you, Jiminator J, though. Maybe you and Faded should make friends in the Discord. Alt Z's got some electronic reggae for us. Let's keep it rolling. Hindu Kush. Y'all are killing me with the 6-minute tracks. I can almost guarantee you, if you're here submitting music, your track does not need to be 6 minutes long. To be honest, am not getting that much of a reggae vibe from it. It's my first time attempting to do reggae music by combining electronic undertones as an electronic music producer. I think what's happening here is it's electronic music with slight reggae undertones because the main elements are sort of just electronic and straight ahead and very quantized rhythms, when reggae is a laid back, chill, flowing genre, where this is just like very straight ahead. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so like electronically mix is fine and all that. It's a super long track. My advice to any of you out there, anybody who's like, I'm gonna go try a new genre today, is like your first time making a genre of music should be preceded by hours and hours of listening and at the very least 1 page of notes. Because otherwise, if you're a general like electronic music producer and you make like EDM or whatever, more traditional electronic music, and you sit down and you say, I'm going to make reggae, and you've heard a couple Bob Marley songs or whatever, or you've just done a little bit of reggae listening, you're going to sit down and just make the stuff that you usually make with a slight reggae element, like, oh, that kind of wah guitar solo. I could include that. And your message is going to get convoluted. Here, we are literally in the last minute of the track, and it finally gets to be a healthy mix. But everything that preceded this was not quite hitting. So it seems to me like there was some good execution in here, but it just needed to be refined. Not all your ideas have to make it into the track. In fact, I would venture to guess, if you're not pulling things out of your track, if you're not maybe even deleting sections before your track is finished, you might be having too much. Rick Rubin, there's lots of interviews with Rick Rubin out there. Go listen to Rick Rubin, because he's like king of like minimal and pulling things back. Because we can have so many good ideas, but too many good ideas in one track doesn't always pan out. Uchun. I say, yo. Man, it's like... It's not that late. It's like 7 a.m. or something. Am I crazy? All right. Uchun. Okay. All right. Mix got a little harsh in this section, but so far it's a really exciting track. Alja, take note on this brass, by the way. Good one. That splice, hey. And the percussion is dope too. Oh, what happened? It just ended. All right, it's very exciting, Wuchun. Thank you for submitting this track. Your first time submitting here, I think. It's kind of fire. I would love, like, I don't have that many musical notes here. There was one moment. I don't know if the intention is to get a top line on this. I think it could for sure work. There was a moment. So here. Where did we change? Here where it's almost like, I think, supposed to be a mellow bridge. The only thing that stood out to me is having that snare continue, or having that snare happen there. Tut, 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 tut. To me, I would have just let the track slow down there for a bit instead of continuing with that. Because then when we got to this section and we start doing the drums and the rolling, this kind of snare rollish kind of things, the tension would build up more. But let us take a break from drums for that small moment. Or maybe those drums get filtered in the back, but that offbeat rhythm to me took me out of the track for a second. So that's really my only musical feedback, other than, of course, I think the end could be a lot bolder. How do we find that track on SoundCloud? I would assume, and Wuchun only has one follower, so you should go give a follow. I'm not signed in, that's why I'm not clicking on it. You would just type in Wuchun Kim. And then the last thing, my last piece of feedback is not music related, but I don't know if you got a MIDI controller, if you got like an APC40, or if you got a launch pad or something, but next step for you, get a lot of attention around your track. If you're not just interested in sync and you are interested in getting your name out there as a producer, convert this to a performance, bro, because this as a performance, you performing and playing these tracks live, some element of it, performance effects plus launching samples and stuff, you'll blow people's minds with content like that. Think. Someone explained to me how it's too small to read this. With peace and love. Wuchun Kim. But consider that, Wuchun. I think that is a good thing to think about. Yo, Nathan Simpson and Wuchun. Where do all the producers hang out in Seoul? Kirky Beats. Winter featuring Kirky Beats. We got a community collab, folks. He said, I'm 60 years old and visually impaired. Nick Arthur Knight, ladies and gentlemen. Because people say sometimes that they can't read it because they're like on a phone or something. So I was like, is this not like, can you not read it even if it's on a phone? Okay. I think that was funny. Reggae. Can't say that on Twitch. Stephen Polanco in the chat. There's also a share your music channel that's not related to this review. So if you want to drop your link in there, people might give it a listen and give you feedback. Such smooth guitar here. Y'all need to start planning on some collabs for Beettober. I like that little ending. Short and sweet. I think the only thing that stuck out to me is that snare, that perk, is just like hitting me in the wrong spot. It's just in these headphones. I don't know if I just need to get used to these headphones or what. It does kind of never, even though the guitars are beautiful, the rhythm is great, the guitar never quite lets up. Like even here in this moment where it's more mellow, I would have pulled back a bit and just done some melodic stuff on guitar and less of the strummed chords, because the strummed chords are happening most of the way through and the rhythm is pushing us forward the whole way through. So is there a moment where we could just take a second to maybe forget about time a little bit? Not fully like abandon the momentum of the track, but just like do something that has a little more flow rather than something that's adhering to the tempo so much. That would be my only suggestion. But otherwise, y'all pulled this off great. I assume, what is it, like Kirky on guitar, Winter doing everything else? Is that the vibe? Or it's combo? I really love the sound. Some of y'all are doing great things with guitar lately. Get it out there. You can put this on the Lo-Fi Loft playlist as well. Next up, DBZ Beats, melodic drill beat about getting rejected by a girl I liked. Translates from Italian to mortal feelings. Hello, Demris in chat. Caleb, first chat I see from you is a sad face. Get over yourself. Don't jump in my chat like that. You're not going to get attention. Beyond the attention I just gave you. See, that's why I don't respond to chat. But that's what I was talking about earlier. I have no context what y'all are saying about. Sentimenti mortali. Yes, sad face. Everybody put a sad face in the chat. Caleb was right. I like this a lot. Melodic drill. I think this guitar, finger picking guitar with this drill rhythm is working really well. What is that word? Hagwan. Music production. Hagwan. Oh, and it just ends. Cool. Like the use of the vocals is great. That's a great example of call and response there, my friends. Faded, you trying to get on this one too? Faded is now like our resident community rapper, so the thing about it is, Faded's gonna have his pick of the litter, so your beats have to be fire. because there's plenty for Faded to jump on, but he gets to choose. I do think it needs a top line. And maybe bass could be a bit stronger too, but I don't have too many critiques because it's just like where is the B section, I guess, if I want to be consistent. Because without a vocal, like there's like not enough variation, I think, but if I think about it having a vocal on it, it would work better. And I mean, it's like a top line, like lyrical vocal, not the vocal samples. But I love all the sounds here. That's cool. I haven't really heard any like drill music like that. Bar Jaws, the time has come. One of my SP404 Mark II beats. Okay. Fool.
This is a good look for you. And you're maybe only the world's second biggest homo. Shut up and help me.
Nice. What effect is that? The DJ effects looper, but
I'm not having sex with you right now, Walter.
Oh, switch up. I'm not a fan of the quotes, but peace and love. There's also like a weird clipping on one of the samples. Yeah, those pops and clicks. Just be careful of that. What is that even? Doesn't sound like it's chop related. Interesting ending. I think it's interesting. We got two vibes in this track, but I think you did the like tape stop effect to get us to this slower, vibier feel. But I wonder if the transition could have been a bit more dramatic, because it is quite a dramatic change, but we kind of just get right into it. Could you have done a little more with those performance effects to just create a better transition? Other than that, I'm bobbing my head. I mean, maybe perhaps there's a world where this can be a beat on its own and this can be a beat on its own. I think it's a tough sell to get like two completely different feels in one. And I also was half expecting it to go back to this faster feel. It's fine that it didn't though. It's kind of just like two different beats, you know? But I do see the cool factor in the switch up between the two. Make performance videos. My advice for all of you out there. Make performance videos. Maybe more variety. Yeah, but I mean like the context of it being a 404 performance. Like the performance effects is where the variety and the improvisation comes in. So it's hard, you know. Tasty, you're in timeout. Don't call me Tay Tay. What are you saying? 1, 2, 3. We're only gonna do one track from each person. Y'all are killing me. All right, we have a few more to go. The clicks came in during exporting somehow, but I didn't hate it, so I kept it. Yeah, it's a little... I would definitely solve that problem. Some things we can get away with like lo-fi or whatever, but they were just a little bit too jumping out to be something you would want to like release, you know? Ooh. Smooth. Oh, like Academy. I get it. Do we put this on the Lo-Fi Love playlist? Do you all think it makes sense? It's a fantastic track, but I don't know if it fits the vibe. You all check me on that though. What's happening? Okay, sorry. Nice. Yeah, I was confused. The thing was like at the end. We're gonna throw it on the Lo-Fi Loft playlist because why not? Square rolls. Clap cotton. I don't have. What am I supposed to say? What do you want me to say? It's great. Nope. What's happening? I clicked that track. Don't want to open Spotify. You see what's happening? Like, I want to play this track, but it's like playing a different track. Why? Yeah, don't have much to say. You all gotta, like, I guess I'll just break down, like, why do I think it's a great track, right? First of all, sound selection is on point. Talk about the arrangement, right? We get 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. We're gonna get 4 bars of filtered intro. 3, 4. Beat drops after 4 bars, so we're in it. Chords, drums, dope bass line. Then what? We got that reverse cymbal and a crash. Add that new element, that synth, right? Dun, dun, dun. It's also playing a not super rigid rhythm, right? Most of the things are not playing a super rigid rhythm like a lot of you I've heard you do with your melodies where it's like dot, 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 dot. No, it's like got swing. It's got feel to it. It feels like it's been played in live, you know? It's got a bounce. Okay, we're at the midway point-ish, right? So it's time for a little B section. Obviously, we've added in a new melodic instrument on top of everything, and it still fits well, right? But now that's gone away, and now we're just like grooving even more, and that chord synth has more variation in it. And now we've got an outro. So it's like very clean. Everything is very purposeful. That's why this is a track that I'm like, what am I going to say? It's a great track. The purpose matters. Oh, okay. So there's a couple tracks here that are like repeated. So we already listened to DBZ. Yes. We already listened to, sorry, I'm getting lost. We already listened to Barjas, Corona, Calentine. Let's give it a listen. Started to release tracks last month. Hope you will review my track. Well, here we are. What's going on? Oh, there it is. Why does the... I thought I knew what was happening. MBO, welcome to the community. It's just almost like there's no kick, though. Went a little off the rails in that section, but... Def Gray, I'll answer your question in a minute. Okay, the arrangement was confusing towards the end. The intro seemed to make sense. There's some interesting sounds here, but... And of course, I do acknowledge that you said just kind of your... first, where did you write that? I'm not seeing it now. Started to release tracks last month. Yeah, so you're kind of new to this, so congrats on that. I think there's a cool electronic soundscape here at the beginning. Then this arpeggiated thing happens. It's a build up. And then here at 40 seconds, the drums are just lacking. Like that build up was meant to really like set us up for this drop. Set us up for what I thought would be the initial kick. And it's okay to subvert expectations sometimes, but you came in and there's like not a kick that I can hear, and there's like a snare backbeat. So that is how to like disappoint your listener and make them feel like unsatisfied. So I think drum mixing is the thing that you're gonna want to focus on next in your music production journey. The sounds are interesting. I definitely am getting like a Blade Runner what am I trying to say? Cyberpunk kind of vibe. And I just noticed like using hashtags like EDM, techno, house. Well, like each of those has their own different subgenres, has their own different set of quote unquote rules. So try to find focus in genre, because I hear it meandering a few different places. And as it goes on, it sounds less and less focused. So try to hone in and focus on exactly what you want to be making. Because there's some stuff there, like those lower bassy sounds that are kind of just confusing. There's the one that's a bass, but then there's kind of noisier stuff down there and it gets a little muddy. So these are all interesting ideas, but Everblue just said it in chat. Very promising direction. I think you'll be able to do a lot very soon. Just keep learning, keep diving in. I mean, it's important, I think, what you wrote in the description. This 1 month has taught me so much, not only in music, but also in life. I have more plans for my art. Stay, and we will move forward together. That is exactly it, Callan. So thank you so much for submitting and sharing that with us. And we look forward to it. Like, there's a lot of people in this community that started with almost like similar work or similar route for improvement. So yeah, you stick with it and you keep going, you'll definitely improve and get better. I can tell it's a great start here. But my friends, this seems to be our last submission of the day. And we've been going over 3 hours, and I don't know how much longer I can go, but let's close things out with just some reminders. Like, you're all a great community and members help support the channel. So if you became a member today, or if you've been a member for a while, Professor Positivity just became a member. Thank you all so much. Thanks to everybody who became a member today. You help sustain the channel. Hopefully you find the value of it in getting to be a part of a great community on our Discord. If you did join today and you have connected to Discord, just jump in general hangout. Everybody hang out, have a good time, introduce yourselves. I see a lot of you, like a lot of waves going on. Introduce yourselves, talk about yourself. There's an introduction channel as well. Don't feel the need, like, check the vibes first. That's just like social, where it's a bunch of music producers, right? So you all might need a little social advice, I think. Just check the vibes first before you dive in too deep with saying any particular thing or trying to start any particular conversation. Check the vibes first. Just hang out in the channel. Be mellow. See what the personalities are. See what the topics of discussion are. See how it all fits in. You know? Yo, Eric Clark, $2 for a toy for the kitty? We love that. We love that. Problem is, this cat loves like what are those, like bendy ties that you get around certain of electronics? Buy $2 worth of those, we'll have an infinite supply. It's like the cat's favorite toy. Besides that, there's like a little thing on the floor y'all can probably see on the carpet. But that's its sloth that the cat brings it up here. All right. Anyway, I said I would answer a question, and the question was best wag to start a lo-fi channel from scratch to monetization. I can tell by the way you phrased that question that you are not on the path to starting a successful lo-fi channel. I also don't know what a lo-fi channel really means. Do you mean a channel like mine that does like a lot of performances and tutorials? Or do you mean like Lo-Fi Girl, where it's like a 24/7 radio station? If it's the radio station approach, then, it's the same thing as Netflix, Hulu, HBO, whatever. The content matters. So Lo-Fi Girl is a label. They have all the great lo-fi, or they have a lot of the great lo-fi, so they can, keep a 24/7 live stream. If you mean a channel like mine, you should just completely forget about monetization and just worry about expressing yourself as an artist and sharing your work with people, and also trying to help people at the same time. Just music to listen to, study, etc. I have a library of 200 songs. I think that's likely just, if it's just your music, like that's not what makes Lo-Fi Girl work. That's not what makes those stations work. Community matters over everything. Like, y'all starting pages, or y'all want to get people to listen to your music, like 200 songs of your music. I've never heard your music before, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm going to assume that it's just a tough sell. Yo, Av McCree in the chat. And actually, jumping in at an opportune point, stuff that Av is doing where he has his own radio station, his own channel with the 24/7 stream, and he like brought a bunch of artists in. So your question, Dev Gray, is like, it just seems like you're trying to promote yourself and enrich yourself without necessarily providing value that's not available elsewhere, right? Like, people could easily just go listen to Lo-Fi Girl. They could easily just go listen to Av's station. It's got a varied amount of artists. The artists serve as almost like a promotional thing because they're excited to be on those things. What producing for 15 years, what approach would be good to take, possibly not channel open to suggestions? I mean, the codes are all out there. Look at somebody like Av. Look at somebody's channel like mine. Look at what's happened in this chat over the course of the last 3 hours. It's not about you. It's not about that you've been producing for 15 years. It's not about that you want to promote your own music. It's literally about like the community that you form and the value you bring to the table. Unfortunately, as an artist and a musician, it's like 20 years ago, we all opened hot dog stands and we could all sell our hot dogs for $5, right? But now we're in 2022 and hot dogs are free. So you're going to cry about it and still try to sell your hot dogs for $5? You're going to not have a successful business because everybody on the corner is giving hot dogs away for free. No. So you give the hot dogs away for free. And if you're not following the metaphor, the hot dogs is your music. And then you provide a lot of other stuff around that. Well, maybe you have the best toppings. Maybe you sell the best t-shirts of any hot dog stand. Maybe your hot dog stand sells a custom sauce that no other hot dog stand has. It's about brand. It's about who you are. It's about like bringing a value beyond the actual thing of the music. So that's why I did want to answer your question, because you specifically phrased it, best way to start a lo-fi channel from scratch to monetization. I did a whole video about this. You should go on YouTube and watch it. It's called You'll Never Make Money as a Producer. Go watch that video. That's my whole take on that. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm giving you the reality of the situation. I have that video, right? But I make a very decent income from being an artist and from creative work. So I'm not saying there's more meaning behind that video. One idea I had was creating a relaxation app which incorporates music. I don't think that that's a bad idea, but I think the reality of that is you have to see what goes into making that, what goes into making a quality one, and what is the competition doing. But everybody, this is probably, I'll be live again next Thursday. We have a great sponsor next Thursday. We're going to be making music with really cool stuff, and we're going to be doing a giveaway next Thursday. So stay tuned to the channel for that. That'll be my last feedback stream until October. Beettober, we're going to be doing weekly music reviews. I hope we can get Av. Av, if you're still here watching, it would be great to get you involved in Beettober, some collabs, bring you on for a guest stream. But also, I'll point out that Av McCree, who's in chat now, also does beat reviews. So if y'all are missing these streams, head over to Av's channel, because Av does beat reviews regularly. And what I respect about Av is he's like me. He doesn't hold back. He's not afraid to tell you what you got to fix. You know, creators like me and Av and others. No, what I would say it the other way. There's a lot of creators out on this platform that are here to tell you how great you are and how awesome everything you do is. And you know why they tell you that? Because they want you to subscribe and watch their videos and be devout followers of theirs. You know what risk people like me and Av take in telling you that, oh, this part of your music is garbage, or like this, you need to do this better or that better? The risk that we take is that you might be insulted. You might not show back up again. You might not subscribe. However, the advice, when we give advice like that, and you all understand that it comes from a place of, we actually want you to be better. We want to create mechanisms so that the producer community can be better, not just attract a giant audience that is into Mr. Beast style videos that fake you into thinking you're learning something about production. That's why channels like this exist, and there's cool people out there doing stuff like that. So Av's got a great channel. Go check his out. He also does beat reviews. So in the month of September, while I'm not doing mine, you should jump in on Av's and then know that we're doing stuff weekly in October for Beettober. Once again, I'll show this graphic one last time. Last year, we raised $6,000 for the Music and Youth Initiative. We did it from all these income sources. This year, our goal will be $10,000. I will need all of y'all's help to raise $10,000 for the Music and Youth Initiative. Beettober, great beat making challenge in the month of October. Please stay tuned because I'm going to be posting more about this on Instagram, on Twitter. I'm going to be posting more about it here on YouTube, even though I won't be live as often next month. But stay tuned and hang in the Discord too. Beettober about to be sweaty, says Piccolo Black. Yes. I wish people could take constructive feedback and give it out too. I actually want to know what the issues with my work are. Hey, you came to the right place. You came a little late, Professor, but you came to the right place. So stay tuned for that. And I think we've cultivated a pretty decent community that not only am I the one giving constructive feedback, but I think people in this community have learned how to give constructive feedback and how to not ruffle any feathers, but also be real. So in our Discord, if you are a member, there's places to submit your music that are not just for this stream where you can get community feedback. I can't guarantee you'll get community feedback, but if people are just hanging out, feel free to assemble yourselves. Thanks, TAETRO, for making my dentist look at me crazy. Hey, you did it to yourself. You had them put it on and you told me that they put it on for you. So making a lot of tunes for Beettober, everybody. Let's surpass the 10K goal. Yes, that would be great. More to come on that. So yeah, social links are in the description. My Instagram and my Twitter are going to be really important in the next month because I'll be able to share more regularly there while I'm away. All right, everybody. I will see you again on Thursday. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you all so much for watching. Over 3 hours. We're going to call it a day here. I will talk to you all on Thursday. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.